Toxic Pop Land, RK Stud with you, and with the Toxic Pop crew, and
welcome to Motor City Comic Con 2015!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WWE Hall of Famer and host on Podcast One's Piper's Pit, Rowdy Roddy Piper!
I feel like I'm in a deposition. No, I don't recall. That's Hogan's rape tape. It's better when he's here.
He is.
yes.
He is? Yeah. So that's right, I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're here. I want to talk about the hair in your ass. Which you have for me for the last 31 years. I actually saw on, it was a WWE channel for $9.99. Earl Schreiber selling a painted car. Paint any car for $9.99. And they have every star say it. It's so classy. Hogan saying that when we first started, that he knew that I hated him and didn't like him. And McMahon was saying that Hogan didn't trust me. Well, McMahon was right. But I didn't ever hate Hogan. I never hated you. You're just a pain in the ass, but I never hated you.
Nobody's perfect.
No, I didn't. But Hogan, they wanted to make him the face, and that's okay. But it's a very competitive sport, especially by our competitive gunslingers, and I wasn't going for that. You know, they don't realize villains make heroes. You got kids in here? Yeah. See? Fuck them. I'm the real hero. So bring it on. If you got a mic on there or something, ask me anything you want. You want me to go? I'll go. I'll stay. You want to hear about some dirt? Go for it.
At WrestleMania 3, your retirement match, it was a hair versus hair match.
Yes, sir.
After you won, Brutus Beefcake came out and shaved Adrian Adonis's head.
Yes.
I've heard that Brutus Beefcake was really good friends with Hulk Hogan.
True.
I was wondering how you felt about Brutus Beefcake getting such a huge push off of your retirement match.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I know exactly the answer. Okay, here we go. Before WW anything, EFG, HIJK, whatever they're at now, I had probably worked in 19 other territories. I got 2 out of Japan for life, so I don't count that one, I have no idea. Another story. So, I had many hair versus hair matches. What time
It
is
is 5:42.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Los Angeles. I had a lot of hair matches in Los Angeles, only in Detroit, where I lost my hair. Okay, here's something, unless you've been there, that you don't really understand. When the barber cuts your hair, you know, he doesn't go and wash it first. He cuts it first. Because when you got those kind of clippers and it's wet, it doesn't work. It takes forever, and and then gouges of blood. And if you want to remain, you just won the match, you want everybody to really enjoy the hair cutting, I'll get you, bud. Really enjoy the hair cutting, but I knew how long it was going to take, and the process of how much it sucked. So I don't know. Brutus, you're a dumbass. Come here, why don't you cut his hair? And that's why I made Brutus a barber. because it would have, at that time, that's just Jeepers Creepers. It was so high, there was no place to go. And it took them about 15 minutes, and then but by that time you guys were tired of it. Well, not tired of it, but you know, on to the next match. And I didn't want to be there when you felt like that. I wanted to be out when you're feeling the best you can. So that's exactly how that happened. I just laid it on him because it sucked to do. Yes, sir. Sorry, I got you. Yes, sir.
Could you tell us your most memorable experience on They Live? And would you be able to with the famous line?
I have come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum. Yeah. That was a hard movie to make. It was. Favorite part, not favorite part. Well, on the roof of the Bank of America in Los Angeles, we're on the roof. That's where the satellite was, and out to kill the aliens. And I've got a pistol, and so that like all through the night. I think we got there about 6 at night, and you go to 6 the next morning. And like all night, this big guy, you know, because they have to put, to make me bleed, what they do is they put gunpowder in a pouch, and then blood is in it. And then there's wires, and all these wires come down, and they come down your leg, and then the wires run this way, and over there's, I'll make up the number, 38 copper posts, and they run a nail down it. They go, and they pop, and they pop out. And this guy, bragging all day, I've been doing this, you know, for 37 years. And another, yeah, okay, dude, just let's get it done. Well, I don't want you to be afraid. Okie dokie, you know. So he said it's going to sting a bit. Yeah, okay, can we get her done there? And so it was time, and they wired me up, and the guy was afraid that with all the smoke and pyrotechnics that I was maybe going to be shy of it, which, you know, he obviously doesn't work for Satan. I do. You know? And so boom, and as I did it, he went, and I thought to myself, you know, the guy was right. It stung a bit, you know. And then come to find out, he put them on backwards. They all blew into me. I wanted to throw him off the roof, but I was afraid he'd live. So that's from wherever that came from, They Live. There was no real fun part. I had to get up like 4:30 in the morning and sauna for an hour, and then when I came to my trailer, they had a sink full of water and ice water, and put my head in that for like 30 minutes, and you know. Well, there's one time I did that Legend House and I got waxed. I guess that's worse. Don't ever get waxed. Hard left there, I realized, but I'll put my face in cold water before I get waxed again. Come on, Chippendale, you mean jeans of Chippendale. Worse, Pat Patterson's. It's better when he's here. I stay in trouble, yes sir.
You were on an episode of Cold Case. In the episode, it was about a guy who became a wrestler to get closer to his kid. Now, there was one scene where the father brings in his own action figure from whatever he was doing. You may not, but I was wondering, do you happen to know if it was like a San Francisco toy maker's figure, or what was the figure originally based on that was customized to make that new action figure? Would you know out of curiosity?
What was it in Cold Case?
Okay.
And there was a character from my son?
Well, it was the character who's your character helped to knock off. He brings his son an action figure of I believe his character, because that's what they were on Bond over wrestling. And I was just wondering if you happen to know what the base figure was that they customized to create the character that he was bringing to his son. If you knew either way what the figure was or not.
Did they get any harder than that?
You want to know the combination to a safe too?
I think the base figure was from the first the ones that made the big dolls, GLN.
LJN?
LJN,
What?
yeah.
Whoa.
And that's where the base figure for Cold Case. You know, CBS got a lot of money. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question. Could you give us the backstory of how you ended up with the Intercontinental belt from the Mountie? And then lost it to Bret Hart?
Let me give you the Cliff Notes.
Okay.
Let's see. Like I wouldn't take a dive for anybody. You go to Madison Square Garden, Tom, you're not taking a dive and see how you go. Yeah. It's not exactly the police athletic league that runs Madison Square Garden. A lot of heat. Very dangerous that night. Very dangerous. So what happened was they kept trying to get my shoulders pinned because New York was traditionally, I'll use your words, a babyface territory. And they ran heels through two top ones twice a year to go up against Bruno. And that was their mentality. And when I came along and started Piper's Pit, their mentality stayed the same. And all of a sudden they had a product that they had never had any attention to. Never really, they didn't know how to handle it or what to do with it from a mathematic point of view that makes money for the business. They couldn't identify it. So they wanted right away to beat me because I was the hottest heel. But I had done this in so many other places before them. Like I was telling them, no, I'm the hottest guy you got. The war to settle the score was Hogan, who was the champion, against myself. And they wanted me to take a dive. Why? He's the champion. And they want to come back in a tag. And they want me to take a dive. Why? He's the champion, and he's a bouncer. You know, with an odd haircut. It doesn't make business sense. And then, so after that though, I got the reputation, and then WrestleMania 2 boxing match with Mr. T here. Lots of luck, buddy. So, I'll tell you, the way they should have done it in war to settle the score, I should have just taken the belt from Hogan, went into the first WrestleMania tag team, went out of the tag team with Hogan fighting for the championship, give it back to him at some time and roll on to whatever I was going to do. It showed me that the mentality of the suits and ties were just to kill me off. They didn't know any better. So to answer your question with Bret Hart, I was taught by the last of the Gorgeous George guys, and I got a master's from the Einstein Institution here. Well, you look as you come along because so many people helped me. All of a sudden I see Bret Hart. And the first time I saw him was in Toronto, Maple Leaf Garden, and he was just white. Pale blue trunks on. Like, he was with this guy, Don Jardine, which is just like a real jerk. And I remember Bret had Jardine against, it was the first match. Bret Hart had Jardine against the rope, right? And so the referee comes and everybody puts their hand up, and Jardine's got his leg behind Bret's heel and he doesn't know it, pushes him, Bret falls down. It's like, give me Jardine. And I fell for him, but as I got to know him, and as he is and had that, he was going up strong, he was worth it. So, for me to give him a hand up, the part about taking a dive is my business, but also making the professional wrestling business run is my business too, even if it has to be at my sacrifice. So why it meant so much and the match meant so much is they always put me in hot angles, and DQ, because I wouldn't take a dive, was their take on it. And I said, sure, I'll just keep doing that. But when it come to Bret, Bret was worth it. So I just took the belt from the Mountie because in beating me, it would throw him up to where he needed to be, and then he'd either fly or not fly. So that's the reason. But so you know, I am a villain. I didn't lose that match. Okay, so because it was really interesting. You guys are great. I had gone to Brett's house and met his mom, and her name was Rose. And I bought her like a dozen red roses. I loved her. They had a big pizza oven, you know, for the family, and they just made grilled cheese sandwiches. I don't know any of them made it, you know, grilled cheese sandwiches, but they did. And I did a thing where I didn't want to wrestle him in front of you. And there was one time when he turned, and I said, "Would have had you, dumbass." You know? He's still young. But when we got in the ring, I was a champion, and it's the first time. When you're a champion, you wrestle different. It's not punching and kicking, it's a whole different ball of wax. And the challenger must show he can take the belt away from the champion, even if it goes 60 minutes. With that said, I just never had the opportunity to tap into that in the WWF. I had other places. So in any case, just to wind it up, is really when I had the bell, you know, you guys were great because you weren't screaming at the referee. We all were all in, and you were just asking, "Don't do it." You're like, why? Why? Because every villain has to have a redeeming quality. You got, you know, if it's Manson, like, I won't even watch something. I'm not going to watch anything about Charlie Manson. I'll even give him the time or put his name up, piece of garbage like that. But if you're just kind of a villain, and you have a redeeming quality and so is with the Bells, no, don't do it because we don't want to hate you. And that's the purest emotion you can get in an arena at any time. I don't know if you've ever seen it before or since. Boom, that goes away, Brett, sleeper. He kicks the top turnbuckle, comes back, referee counts my shoulders, but that's not correct because the referee, the sleeper, is an offensive move. And so when I went back, no matter where my shoulders were, the referee should have checked Brett's hand first. If it dropped 3 times, that could have counted my shoulders, so I didn't lose.
Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.